So something a bit different today. We're going to look at upgrading these wing mirror indicators to the dynamic repeaters. One of the reasons for doing it is this indicator's actually got a fault and it's not working at the moment. So we need to change it regardless. So as much as this one's working, we're going to start with this one today, just because it's in the sun and we've got better light, so I can show you how to do it on the video. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do is take the glass out. So to make it a bit more accessible, I'm just going to push the wing mirror back so that we can get to it a lot easier. Just like we did in one of the other videos as well, what we're going to do is just use this kind of sucker just to go on there, and that's going to help us really pull the mirror forward. Okay, so what we're going to do is just try and start on one of these sides. So I'm just going to push the mirror to the side. I've got a pry tool as well. So I'm just going to use the knife sharpener as it is, just to get some pulling on that, and then gently just try and get behind. Make sure we're not on the glass too much, and just go around, and just hopefully after a little second, what we should do, there we go, is just release it from the clips. It's the same as the Alpha one. It's kind of like a ring of clips behind it. So we can just keep pushing on or pulling around, working that clip off. Try not to get it on the glass, and then what you should do, just as you go around, just coming from the bottom as well, you just hear it releasing until eventually it comes away. He says there's just one little kind of pin where they work in. There we go. It's this pin here that you can see, it's slightly shaped. It goes into these clips here, and that kind of sometimes makes it a little bit difficult to pull out. So with it away like that, you can either then just leave it dangling, or what I'm going to do is just remove these two pins here just for the heated mirror. So these just pull off. So the red and black one just goes into the middle of the mirror. So we're going to try and get them back exactly where they were. So just gently wiggle it and it should come away. And there we go. So I'll just get the other one off and we'll put the mirror to the side. So next up, we need to take this top bit of housing off. So to do that, it's just held on by a few clips that's kind of around the housing. And what it needs to do is actually kind of slide backwards. So again, with a different pry tool, a bit of a sharper one this time, what we're going to do is just start off going in this bottom left corner here. And that should allow us to just pry it open a little bit. And then what we can do is just work our way all the way around this seam. And there we go, and off it comes. So looking inside the housing, if I hold it up to the sun there, you can see largely it's just these two clips here, and then there's a third one over there, and then this kind of locating point there. There is at the bottom just another little one there that you can see just about, and that's all you need to do to release it away basically. So once you get it initially pushed out, then it's easy enough just to take it away. With the housing off, we can see obviously the indicator unit there, and there's one fixing just down in there, you can see just about, and then around this side there's another fixing just here. So they're the same T10 Torx bits, so I'm just going to get them undone now. So once you've got that housing off, I've just folded the mirror in back in the other way, so we can see we just got this one plug here. On the top you can just see there's a little clip there, so I'm just going to push that clip in and pull it forward. So with that plug removed, what we need to do next is obviously remove the whole unit. But before we can do that, it's just a couple of clips. I think there's 1, 2, 3 clips that just hold it in place. So I'm just going to get a pry tool, push it down there, just release this one here that's kind of at the front first. Then there's a second one there. You can see it's starting to move, and then the third one just over at the end. Just as it goes along, just try and pull the unit up slightly, and then it should just pull away. Just keeping the pressure on those clips, and then away it comes. And then as ever, while this is all apart, what I'm going to do is just take the opportunity just to give it a little clean up so it goes back nice and tidy. Okay, great. So with that a whole lot cleaner and tidier, what we're going to do now is get the new unit. We're just going to plug this in. You can see it just clicks in straight in there. Okay, there we go. So with that in place, what we can now do is just offer it back in. And what we're going to do first is just get this in, because they've got this on the Audis, they've got this kind of little see-through bit here where you can see the indicator on the inside of the wing mirror. So you just position that, kind of drop it in this end first, make sure that that seats in through that hole, and then just push it down, and those 3 clips that we had to release, it just clicks in there nicely. What we're going to do now at this time is just test the indicators, make sure that it's working. So I'm just going to push the button now. Fantastic, there we go. Right, and now we can get it all back together. So I'm going to start just by getting the 2 fixing screws on it. So with those fixings back in place, what we're going to do now is just get our cover. Again, I've given that a good clean as well. So we're just going to offer that in, make sure it sits in nicely kind of around the back, and especially down this side in particular. And then we can just feel as it comes in where those clips are going to go. Bring it forward, pull it forward, ease it in. A couple of good positive clicks and away you go. That's now that back on. So the last thing is just the glass. So just in reverse to the way we took it off, we're going to put the pins back on, or the plugs back on. Blue one at the bottom on this one, red one in the middle. And then what we're going to need to pay attention to is just trying to get this pin in here, just into this brass clip here. Once that goes in, the one up this side should just go in nicely also. Okay, with them in position, you can just push it on. It should click in nicely. There we go. And then we can take our sucker off, put the mirror back into its position, and that's that one done. I'm now going to do exactly the same on this one. So I'm just going to start off by putting it back. We're going to get the sucker on the glass, pull the glass off, and then we'll take the cowling off the top of it. We'll get them couple of fixing screws off from here, release those clips, take the indicator out, put the plug back on, the new one, and stick it all back together. So there we go, both of them done. Only about 15 minutes or so just to get them done, and now it's ready for its MOT as well. So hopefully that's been useful. If you've enjoyed it, give us a like down below. If you haven't done so already, remember to hit subscribe coming up here now. Like I always say, really appreciate your time watching, so thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.